Hi, intrepid viewers. I've been missing you. I'm back on a bed. Welcome to my space for today. As you all know, I'm on the move. Welcome any new viewers. Now, if you are a Trump supporter, I have to give you a trigger warning, right? This channel is very blunt about he who shall be called the Yeti. So if you are a Trump supporter, please, I'll give you a few seconds, just move on to another channel. I'm sure you'll be able to find one that tells you COVID's a hoax. 200,000 Americans haven't died. I just hope you don't run into anyone who has lost a loved one, who had to stay home while that person died alone because it is so infectious. The world is in lockdown because of this. A global hoax, really? Every single country in the world is in some form of lockdown. Like that happens on a whim. Wake up, look outside of your echo chamber, look what's happening to the entire world. This hoax thing, it's making me so angry. I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if a few dozen people there, or even a few thousand people, but some people who should know better are buying into this hoax stuff. You try telling that to the health workers on the front line, as they've been for 6 months now, nursing these people. How dare these sites put this up? It's really, really immoral. So this isn't the channel for you. But back to you, dear ones, intrepid viewers. The taxes have come out. Ha! Do we love that or what? So he paid no tax for 10 years. We're not surprised. He paid $750 in tax in 2016 as he swung down the escalator. 750. I mean, as people struggle to pay their tax. But it's not just him. It's not just him. This is how it works. You know, the system supports the mega wealthy and it treads on the little people. So it's time for a brand new world. And that's why all of this pain, I hope, sincerely, leads to a more egalitarian world in the end. Half of the people who have lost their jobs in COVID, I just read this morning, in America, and it's probably true of most other countries, have not got their jobs back. This is tens of millions of people. And yet, Trump voters, or anyone who votes Republican, is voting to destroy their own health care. What is that? How can people be so deluded? Well, let's look at taxes. The other juicy snippet that got lost this week, Eric Trump, poor little Frodo, he's exhausted all the appeals to not appear for a New York subpoena, and now he has to go to court. That's juicy. And we'll take another look at the debate as it gets closer. Now, speaking of the debate, Dave Johnson, Moonride, and I are getting together. And so what's going to happen is Dave and I are going to watch the debate on Skype because we're in different states. The second the debate's over, we're going to jump online and debrief with all of you. I don't know if we'll be able to manage a live stream. We could try, but I can't promise. Can't promise. But in any event, you'll have Dave and I kicking back, raving. Okay? So that's after the debate, which I still maintain will be the only debate. We will see. I hope Biden's getting prepped well, but oh God. Okay, the taxes. Will they have an impact? Will anyone be swayed? What are the repercussions of the taxes coming out? is coming out. Taxes coming out. All right, I'm using the traditional rider weight. Here we go. Oh, the devil first off. The devil card. Oh my word. Money, money. Ooh, revenge, nastiness. I think he'll be able to. I think things are so entrenched that it'll have ripples now, but not enough to drag him beneath the waves. So, as I said, leading off the devil card. So, the devil is the card of excess and just all the negative behaviours and rip-offs and all that stuff, everything you'd expect to be associated with such a card. In fact, it even looks a little bit like the Yeti. Please spare us the Yeti with no shirt. I digress, viewers. What about the $70,000 he spent on the hair? $70,000. Okay, back we go to the cards. Page of Pentacles, he's been doing this forever, since he was young, because when he was a young man, thanks to his father, I'll just stress this is an entertainment channel, YouTube. So thanks to Fred Trump, apart from being an obnoxious psychopath in his own right, he basically gave young Donald, he gave him Roy Cohn, the lawyer, he gave him Ed Weiselberg, the accountant, to manage the money. So from when he was young, he just had the money in his hand. He never had to work out how to do anything. Michael Cohn is very much later in the piece. He had Roy Cohn, who's notorious and goes back to the McCarthy era, who was the family head kicker for 2 generations. So from young, this behaviour was considered normal. Pennies to the poor, not even. Not even. Look at this. Look at this. Now, I've never been fond of this card because its meaning tends to be money changing hands and stuff. But the money only goes one way in the case of the Trump and the taxes. So you could say this is the American people waiting for their taxes, and he drops a few crumbs every few years towards the taxpayer. And that's about it. I also noted in the fine print, intrepid viewers, he's got over $300 million in immediate debt coming due about now. The man has no money. It's always been an illusion, an absolute illusion. Anyway, this is him giving his $750 to you, the taxpayer. Meanwhile, I digress further. Your taxpayer money is being spent madly and inefficiently with these public-private partnerships to buy, protective equipment and all this stuff, which means top dollar for everything. But also the farmers who are suffering because of the stupid and unnecessary tariffs. Your taxpayer money has now sent another $19 billion to help bail out farmers on top of the $12 billion that was given last year. Now, I'm a farmer's daughter, so I can tell you, farmers don't want handouts. They want trade deals. They want somewhere to sell their crops, and they can't sell their soybeans, and they can't sell their pork, and they can't sell anything because of this. And despite these subsidies, it's very distressing. Foreclosures on family farms have accelerated during Trump's reign. And sadly, suicide of farmers is going through the roof. This is all directly because of his tariffs. It makes me really, really cross. As a farmer's daughter, I really do think this is an outrage just on its own. Okay, sorry, back to the reading. So we have him giving you a penny or two. He appears to be victorious with this, but it's not going to last, because how he's really feeling is this. He's really feeling outraged. He didn't think they'd come out. This is blindsided the Yeti. And this is the card of the unthinking knight, the impulsive knight. It's the card of revenge. So he's planning revenge already. Instead of being responsible for anything, he's hell-bent, look at this, into the teeth. He only knows attack. He's like all bullies, attack. You know, this is his response to the news. But then here comes a pact of some sort, coming to some agreement, right? But why I don't think it's going to go very far, despite the scandalous nature of it, his very own card, the smug merchant, I think it's almost too late. I said this some months ago, the tax returns, it's almost too late. Yes, but no, Lena. I'll argue with myself here. It's never too late for the truth to come out. So it's not too late. But in terms of changing people's minds before the election, I think he'll just fudge it by being, well, that's what rich people do. You can't expect anything different, because they, the very rich and bent people, the corrupt rich, not every rich person is corrupt. Some people fund very worthy projects and help charities and do things, unlike the entire clan of Yetis who steals from their own children's charities. Is there anything lower? I think you'd be hard pushed to find it. There are decent, wealthy people who fund museums and theatre groups and musical academies and all sorts, but he's not one of them. It's all for him. So I think he'll be furious, but he'll hide behind, well, that's what we all do. Now it's up to America and those of us in Australia who think this way, in the UK and everywhere else. This is normal stuff. This is the problem about these tax loopholes. Close the loopholes. What is wrong with you? If people would only, if big corporations, everyone paid their tax, I don't think they should pay more tax than anyone else. I'm not talking about progressive taxation, you know, where the richer you are, you pay 50%, 70% in tax. No, keep it at 25 or whatever, but make them pay it. All right. So in terms of the taxes, yes, it's good that it's come out. It's another thing to hit him over the head with in the debate, but it's not fatal. Pity. Okay, let me mix my cards up and look at this debate, because it's going to be really, really, really important. So he's going to keep muttering about these drug tests for Biden and saying, of course, I'll take one too, knowing they won't happen, knowing they won't be drug tested. He comes out, he is going to be off his face. He is going to be absolutely seething on the night. Oh my word. So tell us more about the debate. Tell us more about the debate. I think we've got to remember too, it's not the job of the moderators to fact check. So he won't be fact checked as he goes. It'll be up to Biden to pull him up. So Biden, oh God, I hope he's up to it. He really needs to be talking about the basics. Even at one point, Biden should turn to the camera and say, and I'm asking now people who have voted for Trump in the past, he promised phenomenal health care. 4 years later, there is nothing. and he's going to take your healthcare away. Has he brought back the steel industry? No. Has he brought back the auto industry? No. Just keep going back to the basics of the failures. Ooh, the debate. What can we expect from the debate? What can we expect from the debate? Okay. Oh, I've got another question, viewers. I heard Amy McGrath, who's up against Moscow Mitch, has had to leave Kentucky because of death threats or something. Is that gossip or is it fact? Can people let me know? I might have a quick look at Amy in a minute, but let's look at the debate. Let's look at the debate. Tower. Ah, you've got to love the tower, but whose tower? How big a tower? Oh my word. Oh, okay. All right. Could be worse. The tower sets the tone, which is quite dramatic. But out of 5 cards, 3 are major arcana. This is the orator or the gifted speaker. I often refer to this as my Obama card. Someone who quietly convinces people of their message. Well, it's not the Yeti, is it? So that has to be Biden. In other words, this is saying he's going to speak quite convincingly and well. I'm hugely relieved. Who isn't? Well, that'd be his opposition. So here we have the card of stealth and theft and running away with whatever you can get away with. So I suggest this is the Yeti running off at the mouth, promising the world, not delivering any of it. Here we have the Hanged Man. So I think it could sort of, the debate could be going in a particular direction, and then at some point it stalls and there's a shift in perception. See the halo? Another perception of the 2 speakers. So I'm hoping, I can't guarantee you, but I'm hoping that means this could shift people's perception, this debate. I thought most people are locked in concrete, but there can be a shift. And the winner is America. This is my American card. So the star. So you cannot think that Trump is going to shine in a debate context because he hasn't got any capacity to put 2 sentences together or even one. So he's just going to be raving, absolutely raving, and on an Adderall-induced stream of consciousness rant. I think it's going to actually shock people a bit. A few of the middle of the road and even a few Trump supporters are going to be a bit shocked. But this is my card for the best of what America represents, and it's the outcome. So I am very pleased with that. Don't forget the towers at the bottom. This is not going to be straightforward. It's not as though Biden's going to speak, Trump's going to speak, and, Biden might emerge as having stronger point. Nothing like that. The tower's indicating it's right underneath the thief's card because he intends stealing the election. If nothing else, stealing the election. The tower's underneath that. I think he's gone a bridge too far with this. He's not even smart enough to shut up. He could go all the way and then fight the election result and stuff, but he's flagged it because he can't help himself. right? You know, he's a total motor mouth. And I think that's putting people off. And I'm very pleased with this. Okay, so let me put those back. And I hope that's wrong about Amy McGrath. I only saw it once, never saw it again. And I think it'd be bigger news if it was true. She must still be around campaigning. I think she's the perfect candidate to go up against Mitch. But he keeps getting in because thanks to Elaine Chao, his wife, Transport Minister, who makes millions off every deal she does with China. See, they're all dealing with China. They go off to the rallies and say, evil China. And meanwhile, Ivanka's dealing in China, Elaine Chao. So Kentucky, I'm speaking to any Kentuckians out there. Darl, I said love, I said pet. It's the one time to stand up and vote this guy into oblivion. So how's Amy? I'm not even going to ask about Mitch. How's Amy McGrath going and how are her chances? If anyone can do it, she can, but she's up against it because he spends very targeted amounts of money saying, you know, we'll have 300 jobs doing this road works that gives my wife a lot of money, you know, and people get sucked in every time, you know. Jobs, it's a job. Doesn't matter about the millions without a job, you know. Amy McGrath, fighter pilot. She'd have some stories. I wouldn't mind having a drink with Amy. Okay, let's look. Oh, Amy, what's going to happen? She's strategizing. She's up against, oh. Wow. Okay, she's very calm. She's still planning. I think she's quite well funded with this. She's got a very sensible approach. All of this is about how she's a steady hand on the tiller of the campaign. She'll be up against, this I think represents the ads against her. You know, I was just saying before, it's the card of revenge and jealousy and all these other things. This is what she's up against, the complete machine that is Mitch McConnell's well-oiled machine. But Ace of Cups, good fortune, new starts, emotionally connects with people. People like her. Ace of Pentacles, another ace, new beginning, new start, female hand. This is interesting. Ta-da! Wheel of Fortune. So I'm sorry about these weird camera angles, viewers. What can I say? I may as well be living in a tent. It's in the lap of the gods. Well, yes, and in the lap of those who live in Kentucky, and anyone in Kentucky who has a brain or a heart. I don't care if you're born Republican. This is your time to really think and make a difference. This is the card of fate and destiny. So either she's destined for this and to have this breakthrough with these two wonderful aces, or it's fate and destiny. These forces are just too big for any mortal, and he'll get in because that's what's been programmed into the scenario. But I'm quite optimistic. For the first time, I'm a little bit optimistic. I'd love to see her get up. That would change the dynamic of everything. Oh, please, Amy. Please, Amy. All right. Beloved ones, let me just quickly check my list for what I was going to talk about. I'll have to do one on Brexit soon because it's very big stuff. I think the UK is on the brink. Boris will go. Oh, I have to tell you another snippet of Australiana. Now, the Melbourne Cup, which is our biggest horse race, like lots of countries have big horse races. You have the Kentucky Derby or whatever it is, and the UK has Ascot and all that. We have the Melbourne Cup. What's different about the Melbourne Cup is it's the only time in Australia or anywhere else in the world, I think, where the entire nation stops for a horse race on a Tuesday. And it happens to be on your election day. November 3rd is the Melbourne Cup. So in Australia, what that means is everyone gets up, has breakfast, and then gets mind-bendingly drunk for the next 24 hours. It's a tradition. What can I say? So, you know, it starts off with everyone in lovely frocks and hats and fascinators and all that stuff. And by 5 in the afternoon, you've got women with no shoes and their dresses falling apart, and men without shirts vomiting in front of you, and in the cultural tradition. So your election falls on our Melbourne Cup Day. Oh my word. Okay, guys, I'll try not to leave it so long. Just so you know, I tend to post every 4th day. So if you're not getting notifications, please just look. I'm there. Every 4th day there's a new video. But I'll be even earlier this week because I'll be here in a few days. Oh, I won't be here. Just reminding you. It'll be on Dave's channel, Moonlight. Okay, so I'll see you after the debate. Bye. Ciao, ciao.